Hello, welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I am a doll with needles in its eyes, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another week of
You truly are.
Bloodhaus.
How are you?
I'm good. I didn't get a lot of sleep. LA is kind of starting our descent into hell, i.e., it's almost summertime, which means it's 90-something degrees every day right now. And my Midwestern ass still hasn't acclimated to that in the almost 10 years that I live here.
I never will.
I know so many people that, like, as soon as it gets 60, they're like, ooh, I need a jacket. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? I haven't been able to sleep a lot this week, but especially not last night. So it gets too hot. And whenever I get overheated, my brain produces nightmares and then I don't sleep. And so
me too. It feels like a fever dream. It feels like you have a fever.
Yeah, it's too much. And so I currently have my AC cranked.
Yeah.
So, we'll get there. Hopefully I'll find respite again. But for the time being, more or less happy, healthy.
Well,
doing
here's
things.
the thing. Like, before the 90-degree weather came suddenly this weekend, we were having May Gray, which, if you don't know Los Angeles, we have May Gray, June Gloom, which is where in the spring it is like gray and cool for absolutely no reason. Actually, there is a scientific reason that has to do with like the marine layer or something. It's been explained to me. I can never remember.
But we're too stupid for that, so there's no reason.
Yeah. Go listen to a science podcast if you want to know why. Anyways, it gets gray and cool for no reason when it should be hot. And people in LA complain about it so much. They get so sad. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because I'm from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like,
it's magic.
And I've been doing photography is great for overcast weather. Usually in LA, you have like harsh sunlight, which is terrible for photography. So I just love May Gray, June Gloom. I think it feels great. I find the constant sunshine and heat of Los Angeles really oppressive, to be honest.
Same.
So I love it. And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with you. And now they're complaining about this. And it's like, which is it?
I think people just like to complain.
Yeah, it's true.
I will
I love to complain as much as anybody, so perhaps more.
This time of the year when I get to enjoy the May Gray and the June Gloom, and then it's immediately like sliced by like searing sun.
Yeah,
that's always when I'm like, I could just move to Seattle. I could do it.
Seattle.
I could do it, right?
Do you know what you would love more than Seattle? Actually, is Portland.
Probably, yeah.
Seattle, my hometown, listeners, so don't think I'm knocking it, because I dearly love it. But it has been just completely ruined by tech money. Microsoft and Amazon is there, and
San Francisco also has been ruined.
It's
like that too.
Same deal with San Francisco, but a smaller city. It's just like tech people came in and just like leveled all of the character and have made it more boring.
Ugh. Well, I mean, to your point too, like, Portland's probably the better option because I'm not getting any sleep here. If I move to Seattle, I'll also be sleepless. So, like, sorry, that was a long walk to a bad joke.
Great joke. Are you Paula Poundstone? Because you are making me laugh.
I like that Paula Poundstone's the only person you find funny.
Today, I wanted to say something as we record this is Mother's Day.
Oh, yes. This is a very Mother's Day appropriate episode.
Yeah. Even though it comes out a week after Mother's Day. There's a phenomenon that I've been noticing more and more every year. And the first time I saw, and I'm talking about the internet, the way that people talk about it on the internet. 10 years ago, the first time I saw a post about this, when someone who was like, hey, I have a weird relationship with my mother, and so Mother's Day is hard. I was like, wow, I never thought of that. That's so interesting. And now I feel like I see more of that post than people saying, like, I love my mom, happy Mother's Day. And I sort of feel like doesn't anybody love their mom anymore? Can anybody just be normal about Mother's Day? And for the first time, I have mother issues because my mom is ill,
Yeah.
and so it's like a major thing in my life right now. And I love my mom very dearly. And today I was like looking through Blue Sky and seeing all these posts that are like, FYI, don't wish people a happy Mother's Day because you don't know how they feel about their mom and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, can you just be normal?
I'm really sorry, Josh, but that sounds like a Blue Sky issue. That sounds like
Well, it was
the
on Twitter and
audience of
Instagram too.
Okay. I haven't seen much of that.
Okay.
So it feels very like kind of Tumblr-y.
It
like,
does.
don't assume that about other people. Where it's like, okay, I get it, but when we're all saying it, then it loses its meaning.
It's also like just gross therapy speak leaching into everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When people talk about like, I noticed it. I don't know. This friend of mine posted these videos that she produced, like professionally produced videos with like very famous comedians about body autonomy for children. They're like children's videos about like, you don't have to hug somebody if you don't want to. And I appreciate that and I get it, but I also sort of feel like actually it's fine to make your kid hug their grandma. You know what I mean? Can we just be normal? And I feel like Bill Maher or something once again when I say this stuff, but it just feels like, can we just be normal? Can we all just chill out? Like your kid can hug grandma and it's fine. It's not a rape when your kid is forced.
It's so crazy, Josh, because this is obviously an audio format, so listeners won't get this experience. But every single time you lean into a podcast microphone and say, can't we just be normal? What's wrong with people? Can't we just be normal? All of a sudden your hair disappears. And you turn into like
that's
Jordan Peterson or someone like that.
That's how I feel. And I've been like a lifelong leftist. And I don't know. I see people too who are like, can I get a trigger warning for posts about alcohol? And I'm like, you know what? I've been in recovery for my whole adult life. And like, that's kind of how I know that this stuff can be bullshit, is because like, that is not recovery. If you need a trigger warning for someone tweeting about alcohol, you need to get yourself to a meeting. Like you are not strong enough for the world.
Well, it's I feel like it's very easy. And this is just general across the board for a lot of these issues, that it's a lot easier for people to blame someone else and to decry someone else for not doing enough work to accommodate them rather than working on themselves to accommodate the world. Which, granted, it's a two-way street. There's a lot of shit in the world that is fucked up and that you should not accept and accommodate. But also, like, if you just fully put up a wall and only expect the world to meet you only on your own isolated terms, you're going to be lonely for a long time.
That's like when people talk about boundaries. You know, boundaries are, that's the thing. All of these things are good, right? Mm-hmm. Like boundaries are good. But sometimes people talk about boundaries and I'm like, did you set a boundary or did you cut a loved one out of your life for some imagined petty reason? Do you know what I mean? Like both things are very real. And that's the thing that drives me most crazy is I believe in empathy and I believe in body autonomy and I believe in all of these things. But I just feel like, I don't know. Once again, I'm like, do we all just talk about ourselves too much and think about ourselves too deeply? Maybe it's not that serious. I don't know.
Or maybe people aren't thinking about themselves deeply enough at all and have a very shallow, constructed perception of themselves.
Yeah,
that is coming up against a world that is calling them out on their lives.
Self-diagnosed mental illness or neurological.
That too. Oh my God, that reminds me. This is on that topic, but slightly adjacent. Yeah. A friend of mine recently told me that they were, it's not really my story to tell, but basically someone tried to pick someone else up using the phrase non-ethical non-monogamy.
Non-ethical non-monogamy,
which is just cheating. You can.
Oh God, that's just being an asshole. That's so. I love it. That's delicious to me. Like
that's
people finding a mental health or social justice reason to be terrible is like so funny to me.
Those like camo trucker hats that say God's favorite. I want one that says non-ethical non-monogamy.
Oh my God, I love it. I recently saw someone talk about being, I think they used the term aplatonic or
Oh, I've
something.
seen that coming around. I saw that on something on Instagram recently, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Which means like it just describes a person who can't form
Experience platonic,
friendships.
yeah.
Or yeah, can't experience platonic love. And I was like, I don't
You,
know. I'd get to a therapist. That
yeah,
sounds like I don't think you deserve a pride float for that. Like I don't think you can march in our parade with that one. Sorry. Sorry to gatekeep. But like I think it's like, do you mean you're lonely? We used to call that loneliness. I don't know. It just feels I that sets off alarm bells in my brain.
right, yeah. Well, that's what their pride flag is. It's just red. It's the color red.
Yeah, just the color red. Anyway, have you watched anything good?
I have. I watched a couple things that I feel like are very Josh appropriate things to mention.
Okay.
One of them is a movie that I know you love, and I ran into some mutual friends of ours at this screening. But they did a gorgeous restored screening at the Egyptian this past week of the Robert Altman classic Nashville.
Oh yeah.
And Ivory had never seen it before, which is
Yeah.
crazy to me. It's one of my favorite movies, and in my opinion, the greatest American movie ever made.
Yeah. A lot of
And
people saying it.
so we went to go see that, and we ran into mutual friends of ours, Brian Otano and Darren
Oh,
Stein,
yeah.
in the audience. Olan Jones was also sitting in between us, which was funny.
Oh my god, I would have freaked out.
I know. Well, as we were leaving, I realized it, and I turned to Ivory, and I was like, "Oh, that's Olan Jones." And she said, "Who?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm being too weird for the moment." But it was introduced by Keith Carradine, who's obviously
Wow.
one of the stars of the film,
Yeah.
and who looks incredible and is like awesome and super spry. And then apparently through the whole film, um, Ronnie Blakely was there and stayed and watched it,
Whoa.
and then did a big Q&A after the movie, which was so
Wow.
special and so magical. Um, and they were asking her all these questions about the making of the movie, and like, and that era in movies, and she was like, all because it's part of a program they're doing at the Egyptian for like 1975 in movies, and so there was a trailer before the movie for the other films in that series, which were like Ken Russell's Tommy and Chinatown, and Dolomite and Cooley High and all these other movies.
Switchblade Sisters is in that. No, that's at the Alamo.
Yeah, that's how the album.
Yeah.
And Ronnie Blakely was like, it was funny to watch that because like all those people in those movies were just my friends. Like Jack Nicholson was just my friend at the time, so like we're just like, oh yeah, he's doing a movie, and be like, okay, I'm gonna go down and make this Robert Altman movie in Nashville, and you're gonna go off and make that detective movie in LA, and my other friend's gonna like, and she's like, oh, and Chris Christopherson was my friend, so he was off making some Peck and Paw movies, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like,
I hadn't seen Nashville until last year, and that's how I know that you can't stream it anywhere. You have to buy a Blu-ray or a DVD to watch it if you want to watch it at home, because that's what I did.
You can't stream it anywhere. It's owned by Paramount. The Criterion release is out of print.
Yeah.
The only option you can get is the Paramount Presents Blu-ray with art by me.
Oh, really? I bet that's what I have.
Yeah. I'm not proud of it. So it's not on my website or anything like that. Because I did it for an agency during lockdown, and then they took the art away from me and changed it a little bit, but it's still my work and it's still my finish. It's my concept. They just rather than using an image from the film of the politician's truck on the cover, they made some like weird 3D rendering that looks like a low poly thing from a Lara Croft video game, and then the whole cover was red, white, and blue, and then they changed the white to yellow.
Mm-hmm.
The American flag that's red, yellow, and blue.
Yeah.
So it's kind of garish, and I'm not super proud of it. I would like to have one of my favorite movies and one of the most important movies of all time on my portfolio, but I'm glad I got it. I'm glad it's available. I hope Criterion releases it again.
Well, all I meant to say was that I didn't know Ronnie Blakely from anything except Nightmare on Elm Street. It's the alcoholic mom who's so campy and who gets sucked through a window at the end. So I had no idea that she could sing. I didn't know a single thing about her. I didn't know
that she was a really successful songwriter at the time.
Yeah. I had no idea.
I forget that she's in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, she's so campy. What a delight. That's Marge.
And literally, as we were walking out of the theaters, we ran into Brian and Darren. They were both like, "That's Nancy's mom," and I was like, "Oh yeah." But I love that movie so much. Jeff Goldblum is so incredible. Geraldine Chaplin is such a fucking monster as the like roving BBC reporter.
Yeah, and oh god,
Lily Tomlin, Ned Beatty,
from The Shining. Oh my god.
Oh, Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall is so incredible. She's like an elf.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Just like a fairy or something, like from another world.
I will say, speaking of Bloodhaus related movies, the most underrated performance, because Nashville's like 40 something characters, and they all have their own lives and stories, and everyone gets a moment to shine, and all the actors wrote and performed their own songs. To me, the most underrated performance in the whole movie of celebrated performances is Christina Rains from The Sentinel.
Mm-hmm. She's great in it.
The like female member of the sort of like Fleetwood Mac-esque band that's all sleeping with each other. And the song that she sings when Keith Carradine brings the other two members up on stage and they finally sing a song together, immediately after she finds out that Keith Carradine's been cheating on her, that she like sings into his face, is one of the best songs in the whole movie. Her performance in that movie is incredible. And apparently Keith Carradine's character was supposed to be played by Gary Busey, which is insane.
That's
and
crazy.
Gary Busey wrote that song they sing together. And then Gary Busey got like a pilot offer, so he like went off and did that, and so then Keith Carradine took over that role. But he wrote that song and they still used it, and Christina Rains sings it incredibly. It's the only song on the soundtrack of the movie that's not on the soundtrack release.
Weird. That's so
it's not
weird.
on. Maybe they didn't want to pay Gary Busey the royalties, but like, you can't stream it on Spotify. You can't listen to it on any version of the album. It's really fucking annoying. It makes me mad. I love Nashville so goddamn much.
I love it. It's so perfect. I mean, Robert Altman is just, what can you say? I mean, he's just the best.
I know a handful of people that are like, I don't get Altman, or like, Altman's bad, Altman sucks. And you know who one of those people is? Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino hates Robert Altman.
That's
thinks
crazy.
He's a bad filmmaker, thinks he's just a pothead.
Who could watch Three Women and think that he's a bad filmmaker?
Yeah, or Images, or like The Player, or Shortcuts. Like,
I love Robert Altman. I love Tarantino too, but I just think he's wrong about that.
I agree. There is a movie that a lot of people think is bad, and that's the other one that I watched this week that I wanted to talk to you about. So for listeners, a little while ago, Josh gave me some VHS tapes for Christmas. And one of them was a 90s erotic thriller featuring Julianne Moore in a supporting role. And that was Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I watched another 90s erotic thriller on VHS featuring Julianne Moore in a supporting role.
Okay.
And that would be from the director of Christian F., Uli Edel's Body of Evidence, starring Madonna and Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
Julianne Moore and Ann Archer and Frank Langella and Joe Montana and Jürgen Prochnow, and like, it's just a Basic Instinct knockoff.
Yeah, it's great.
I've only heard like dog shit things about it. It's like widely discussed as like being the worst of the 90s erotic thriller cycle and stuff like that. And like, yeah, it's blatantly just Basic Instinct, but dumber.
Absolutely.
But you know what? It's so fun.
Yeah.
The scene where Julianne Moore runs into Madonna in the bathroom, and Madonna's been sleeping with Julianne Moore's husband, and Julianne Moore slaps her, but you can tell her hand is nowhere near Madonna's face because Madonna wasn't allowed to be slapped. But also, like, Willem Dafoe is the like hot, sexy lead, and his wife is
And he
Julianne
is.
Moore, and that's so weird to me because both of them are like such like character actors that having
Yeah.
them play like happy-go-lucky, average American family couple. They're like out to dinner with their son in one scene, and Willem Dafoe's like, "Oh, champ," and I'm like, "This is weird." Like, this all feels weird. But then Willem Dafoe gets to have like really steamy sex scenes where Madonna's dripping wax on him.
Yeah.
And apparently neither of them used body doubles.
Really? That's surprising.
So Willem Dafoe
I guess
got
it's
all
not.
that wax on him.
Willem Dafoe's sexy in that movie. I think.
He's extremely sexy in that movie. Oh my god. The plot of the movie is absolutely asinine. That like
I don't remember it, to be honest.
it's
the
that
plot.
Madonna has been having an affair with an old wealthy man, and he's found dead in his house, tied up to the bed, and with like a sex tape playing on the TV with him and Madonna. And they're like, "Oh, he died of a heart attack during sex. That means she killed him. Her body's the weapon."
Right.
Just so stupid.
Which also, is that a crime? That's not a murder if you fuck someone so good that they have a heart attack and die. That's on them.
Well, then there's like a second thread about like cocaine being put in like a nasal spray, which is also insane. And then there's all these twists about like Anne Archer, who's wearing one of the worst wigs in Hollywood history in this movie, but her having some kind of jealous affair. And there's a weird like twist reveal near the end when Frank Langella comes in to like be a character witness, and then there's a twist around that where like turns out Frank Langella was gay the whole time, and he just like shamefully walks out of the courtroom not saying anything after being outed. It's so weird. It's such a weird movie, and I was like, oh, who directed this? And then it was like, oh yeah, the director of Christian F. and Last Exit to Brooklyn. What the fuck?
Both markedly better movies than Body of Evidence.
A wild choice, but like, you know what? I'm glad a German guy could get his paycheck.
I guess it's like a big studio opportunity.
Yeah,
perhaps.
it was a big glossy studio opportunity. It was produced by Dino De Laurentiis. The most insane thing to me, though, is so I watched it on the unrated VHS tape. And on the back of the tape, there's like the billing block of like the cast and the crew and stuff like that. And at the bottom of the billing block in the same type, so it's like locked in there with it, is a line that says, "Not based on the novel by Patricia Cornwell." So Patricia Cornwell has a novel called Body of Evidence, and she was so mad about the steamy, sexy Madonna movie.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you
be?
Which apparently came out like the same month as her sex book, which like,
oh my God. That was such a moment.
oh my God, 93 was her year. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that was a big moment. Have you ever seen the movie, the 90s trashy sexual thriller Disclosure with Demi Moore?
Yes, I have.
It's
That
so
ends with
funny.
them in like a bad CG, like
Yeah.
3D simulation.
I love it. Like the character has to steal a file to like crack the case wide open or whatever. And so they decide to make it more exciting by making the file located in virtual reality. So there's like terrible early 90s virtual reality of a slow walking like Tron looking figure trying to steal a virtual file out of a virtual filing cabinet. It's so stupid.
It's
I
so
love it.
stupid. Well,
Deeply
also
love it.
the setup, that in the way the Body of Evidence is just a knock on Basic Instinct. That's just a knock on Fatal Attraction, because like
Yeah.
Michael Douglas,
She's crazy.
yeah, Demi Moore's crazy, and she's gonna blackmail Michael Douglas into sleeping with her, and he says, "I'm not gonna do it. I love my wife," and she says, "No, you're gonna fuck me," and he says, "But I can't because she's my boss." Wow, feminism. Women can be bosses and predators too.
Feminism's gonna get you.
It feels like the erotic thriller version of White Man's Burden. You know that John Travolta movie where he wakes up and like white people are racially oppressed by black people, and he's like, wow, I've learned my lesson. It's like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. The 90s was a weird time. And basically,
Very
if
weird.
you're making an erotic thriller in the 80s or 90s, you, I think, legally had to cast Michael Douglas. And if you can't get Michael Douglas, you get James Spader. And apparently, if you can't get any of them and you're bold and freaky, you get Willem Dafoe. And that's the correct move. It's weird that he like had a like tiny moment of being a like lead.
Yeah.
And then back to character actordom, because he also did that movie
what?
White Sands where he was the lead.
Oh, right. I think that he's too good to. I think some people are too good to be leads, and
Agreed.
I think he's one of them. You know, he's meant to be a villain. He's meant to be a weird cop. He's meant to be the weirder, more interesting character on the side, unless the lead is like in The Lighthouse or something like that. Then it's great for him to be the lead,
or him having wax stripped on him by Madonna, or playing Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You don't want him to be like the dad in the Santa Claus or whatever. You know what I mean?
The idea of Willem Dafoe replacing Tim Allen in every Tim Allen role is really funny to me.
What if here's the only ethical use of AI is to go back through the entirety of Home Improvement and replace Tim Allen with Willem Dafoe.
Oh my God.
Willem Dafoe hosting Tool Time as Tim Taylor.
You don't even have to AI it. You just get Willem Dafoe in front of a green screen and then you just edit it together. Yeah. Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, what have you been watching?
So I haven't been watching much because I have been playing a video game. That's the truth. But I did manage to rewatch my very favorite French New Wave movie, which is one that people, I feel like, don't talk about that much, but it's called Le Faux Follet, or
The Fire Within. I literally,
in English.
Oh my God. So I had no idea that you were going to say that. And when you were like, it's my favorite French New Wave film that no one ever mentions, I was literally going to be like, oh, what, Le Faux Follet? I was about to like... be like,
make fun of me?
Not make fun of you, but kind of be like, oh, it's not going to be as deep cut as The Fire Within. And then, no, that's the exact movie.
Fire Within.
It's The Fire Within.
I mean, it's either this or Cleo from 5 to 7, which I deeply love. But The Fire Within is gorgeous.
It's criminally fucking underrated. I mean, Louis Malle, period, doesn't get the kind of accolades that Truffaut and Godard got because he never stuck to one style. He was always hopping around. Fire Within is incredible. And the fact that you can go from that to Zazie dans le Metro is insane.
Yeah. So The Fire Within is a movie about a man who has been in recovery for alcoholism at like a fancy I don't know what you call it, like a spa almost, like a fancy place in Versailles for treating alcoholism.
Yeah.
A rehab, but like a nice one. And he gets out of rehab. Yeah. He gets out of rehab, goes to Paris, has sex with an old lover, sees some old friends, starts drinking again almost immediately. And then he kills himself at the end. And that's kind of it. It's a very simple movie of all of these reunions and somebody, I don't know, who's just deeply sad and he's planning to kill himself from the start of the movie and then does. And
he writes the date that he's going to kill himself on the mirror.
Yeah.
To like start the movie, basically.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's the movie The Royal Tenenbaums is referencing it when Richie Tenenbaum says in the mirror, I'm going to kill myself tomorrow, and then just does it in the moment. That's referencing this movie. Mm-hmm. And I have a thing about suicide narratives, and my thing is that I love them. I don't know why. As someone who's had depression my entire life, for some reason, I've always wanted to read books or watch movies that have a suicide narrative in them. I find them something really deeply comforting in some weird way. And so I don't know, when like the 13 Reasons Why stuff happened and it became so controversial to like tell these narratives and sort of like implicitly banned in some spaces, I've loved them all the more. And so I don't know. What were you going to say?
I think there's a value both in this kind of filmmaking and in horror filmmaking and other kinds of filmmaking and in books and other kinds forms of art to allow people to explore emotions that they're dealing with that they don't want to acknowledge and deal with. It's a lot easier for a person who has suicidal ideation and depression and intrusive thoughts that lead to this thing to sit and watch that enact and then to have the emotional catharsis with that. I think it's significantly more healthy.
Yeah.
And as someone who has also dealt with those exact feelings, I find that movie extremely comforting. And it's inherently sad, but I I never really find myself like weeping through that movie in the way that I do a lot of other movies. There's kind of, I don't know, a gentleness to it that's like really humane and respectable. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I love that. I don't know what it says about me, but I was watching that movie a lot when I was in high school.
I didn't see it until, I was an adult, but I was just so moved by it. And I was I was Googling like movies about suicide because that's what I wanted to watch. And honestly, there's not a ton of them where that's like the central subject of the movie.
Yeah.
And so that's how I found it. But I just love it so much. I think it's such a beautiful movie.
On the theme of art house European movies about the theme of suicide, this is a much more like Baroque and bizarre one. But are you familiar with the Marco Ferrari movie, The Great Feast, Le Grand Buffet?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Okay. It's about four middle-aged men, all played by like huge international stars from the era. So like Marcello Mastroianni from 8½, Michel Piccoli from Belle de Jour, Ugo Tognazzi from Barbarella, and one other actor that I can't remember. But they're all like wealthy middle-aged men that have been friends for years, and they all can't stand the way the world is going, and so they decide to kill themselves. But they decide to kill themselves by locking themselves in a rented mansion on the outskirts of town and filling it with as much food and alcohol as they can manage, and then like 4 sex workers. So they will eat, fuck, and drink themselves to death.
Wow.
And it's it's like the most hedonistic version possible. It's fucking disgusting. And after a while you kind of forget that the point is for them to kill themselves.
Yeah.
And so when the first of them starts dying, you're like, or just dies, you're like, oh my god. And then it keeps on. It's really in your face. It's really mean. It's very political.
Yeah.
It's entirely different, but I think you like it. It's really fun.
It sounds kind of like Ticket of No Return.
I don't know that.
That German movie she had a category on Criterion our first year. Erika Ullinger, maybe something like that.
Yes.
And it's really glamorous. It's about a young, beautiful woman.
Ulrich
who's
Oettinger.
Rich. Oh, yes. Yeah. She's very glamorous. Her name is just she or her. And maybe she doesn't even speak. It's been a few years since I've watched it. But she buys a one-way ticket to Berlin to just drink herself to death. And it's really beautiful. She wears these fabulous gowns while she just gets shit-faced and walks around Berlin.
Oh my God.
It's crazy, but really wonderful. But I was thinking about like how, there is suicide in like Bible stories and early myths and stuff. And I just figure there's probably something that's like elemental about it that you can't get rid of in terms of storytelling.
Extremely. I mean, just thinking about human existence, that I think almost every single person contemplates that choice at some point in your life. You're never not going to. And some people deal with it a lot more than others. I will also say the Fassbender movie In a Year of 13 Moons is another
I've never seen that one either.
Great movie about that. Yeah. It's also his trans film, which there's a lot of people that are very conflicted about the fact that his trans film is also
the suicide film.
Is his suicide film, but I think it's incredible. And it's the movie that John Cameron Mitchell stole whole scenes for Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I hate that piece of shit so much.
Yeah, I know you do.
Anyway, Any Year of 13 Moons is incredible and heartbreaking. But again, same with Fire Within, and same with, I'm assuming, like Leaving Las Vegas and stuff like that. There's absolute gorgeous moments of beauty and levity throughout that make it that makes it realistic and makes it work. Because if it's just, crying into my drink, I want to kill myself for 2 hours, that's not a reflection on human existence and on that state. God, yeah, I love this kind of movie so much. I love The Fire Within. More people should watch it, and more people need to get in the Louis Malle bandwagon.
Yeah, agree. Speaking of incredible films, we have one for you today. This is a movie we were inspired to rewatch because of Sinners. We both kind of thought of this while watching Sinners. It is a 1997 movie written and directed by Cassie Lemons. It is Eve's Bayou.
Memory is a selection of images, some elusive, others printed indelibly on the brain.
Daddy loves you so much.
I know.
We'll dance at every party.
Each image is like a thread.
I first saw this about 20 years ago, and that was the only time I saw it. And I remember liking it, but this time it just hit me so much harder. I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. I think it's really beautiful. I was floored by it this time. How about you? You have a more interesting backstory with this.
Yeah, it's a movie that one of a handful of kind of not exactly underseen, but not widely canonically celebrated 80s and 90s movies that my directing professor in college, Carter Martin, showed us and like taught to. So he would take movies, and because you have like an hour and a half class, he's not going to sit down and show us a whole movie, especially in a directing class where you're talking about like the minutia of like blocking out scenes. So he would just pull movies that he thought had great examples of that he knew that we'd already seen the Truffaut films, and we'd already seen Orson Welles, and we'd already seen Hitchcock and all that stuff. So he was trying to break and find more contemporary examples and more out of the box examples and more examples that like flowed between genres and different kinds of directors and storytelling. And so he would teach to us from scenes in Eve's Bayou and Married to the Mob and Dolores Claiborne, and an absolutely invaluable course. He was fucking amazing. And the scene that he taught to, and this is the scene where the aunt is describing the death of her first husband to the niece.
I knew it would be that.
Which is just a virtuoso, both of blocking, of camera movement, and of performance, which is just like amazing. Yeah, he was a great guy. He gave me a bunch of his VHS tapes after I graduated his course. And one of the ones that he gave me was both Dolores Claiborne and Eve's Bayou.
Wow.
And so I probably watched it for the first time in full on his tape. I've unfortunately since gotten rid of a lot of those tapes, just over time and moving so much. And then I kind of didn't think about it for a long time. And then when Criterion released it a couple years ago, I got to see the director's cut for the first time. And I honestly, I could not tell you the difference between the theatrical cut and the director's cut. Because my memory of the first watch is so hazy. But I've only ever watched the director's cut since. And that's what I watched this week before this. And it's so fucking incredible. I know it's based on a short film that Cassie Lemons made kind of as a proof of concept for this.
Well, she also wrote a bunch of short stories too about this family, and then like in the writing process turned it into a screenplay.
I watched it with Ivory for this rewatch, and afterwards she was like, "Was that based on a book?" And I was like, "No, technically not."
It feels so much like a novel.
Yeah.
It feels in a good way. I mean, I love books that feel like a novel. And in fact, I this movie is so good and I love it. Part of me wishes it was a novel and we got everything from like the original Witch and Slavery times 2 now. So I wish that this was like a 1,500 page long doorstopper of a novel that I could spend a month reading because it's so delicious.
Or like Eve's Bayou, the miniseries. Like,
oh yes,
yeah.
yes. Give me
like
a 10-episode HBO miniseries.
I know. Yeah, because we get that. I mean, what was that one based on the Gillian Flynn novel recently, or a couple years ago, probably at this point, that was also like white Southern family dealing with
Right. What is that called?
Shattered Glass or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It was something like that. I know that's not it. But like if stuff like that can sharp objects. That got like a big prestige miniseries when that should have just been a movie. Because the book is like 80 pages long.
Right.
Meanwhile, like there's much to be said for a story as rich as Eve's Bayou, having a big, large adaptation. But I do think I think this movie is perfect as is. Like,
it's so good.
I love the kind of like sharp injections of the like extremely high contrast black and white.
Me too.
To like both talk about the past and to also describe the kind of ethereal elements of the story, and kind of weave it. It's got the like experimental film storytelling that I love, and when I was in college was what I was doing. And so I think that's the biggest takeaway that I had when I saw this when I was in college, was that like, oh, you can blend that with like really classical, like David Lean-esque narrative filmmaking, and you can like use one to amplify the other. And I tried doing that with the first feature I tried to make when I was in college, which did not get finished. But like, Eve's Bayou had a real big impact on me in that alone. And the cinematography, both the color cinematography and the black and white cinematography, couldn't be more different, but also are so fucking stunning.
So beautiful. In the costumes and all the production design, it really does feel like Todd Haynes or Douglas Sirk, or, you know, like those great melodramas. This is a melodrama, I would say.
Yeah.
But it also has all of these great flourishes of magical realism that come from like the Southern Gothic literature tradition. I think it's the best example in film maybe I've ever seen of that tradition from literature. She's taking all of these influences from her theater background. I mean, the scene that you described with the mirrors, like all of that stuff is done in the way that it would be done in a play.
Yeah.
So it feels very theatrical. In the literal sense, like it feels like it's from theater, the blocking and arrangement of those scenes in a way that's so different than you usually see in movies. I just think everything just comes together so well here.
The blocking of scenes around mirrors in that way always makes me think of theater, because it makes me think of
it's exactly what a play would do.
Well, speaking of Robert Altman, it makes me think of the play Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean,
yeah,
which has one of my favorite uses of a mirror in any play or film adaptation ever. But then also in the way that Kenneth Branagh reblocked Hamlet, with the like Hall of Mirrors kind of, which are two-way mirrors, which then allows him to block a specific scene in Hamlet very similar to the scene in Eve's Bayou, which then adds so much more subtext than was already, like, somehow he's adding more to Shakespeare, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
I also do love how the relationship between all three kids in this movie. I love how intelligent all three kids are. I love that, like, they spend their summers reading and quoting Shakespeare to each other.
Yeah.
I love that, like, we've already finished the tragedies, now we're on to the goddamn comedies.
That kid is
that line.
Especially good. Janae Smollett.
Journey Smollett. Yeah. She's
Journey. Oh.
Yeah.
That was Janae. I don't know. Sorry.
She's like one of the most successful actresses of her career. And when you watch this movie of her as a kid, you're like, oh, yeah. She was just in The Order, and she was in She was one of the leads in Birds of Prey. She did
Yeah.
that. Jamie Foxx made The Burial recently. Like,
She's so good.
Goddamn incredible. And like movies like this, which I mean, part of it is, you know, a Southern Gothic melodrama, and then the other part of it is a coming of age movie about these kids, and it balances those two beautifully. But that side of the story for a lot of films falls on its face with the casting of child actors. All three are amazing in this, but Jodie Smollett is like next
and
level.
The two girls, I mean, the other girl is Megan Good, who is still a very successful actor too. So all of the adult cast are people Cassie Lemons knew from doing theater in New York. So they're all theater actors. These two kids could have been duds. You know what I mean? But they are both still working and still successful to this day. So it's, I don't know, it's good casting. It's also probably a touch of luck.
Yeah.
You know, they're both so extraordinary.
Well, I also love that, like, so this is 97. This is the height of Samuel L. Jackson's, like, box office success.
Right.
And, you know, after he was working his ass off before Pulp Fiction made him a household name. And, you know, a lot of the indie films that he did before that then got released later off of his name. Paul Thomas Anderson's Hard Eight is a fairly famous example of that.
Yeah.
But the fact that he went out on a limb and produced this film and took a starring role in it, which it's not a huge role. It's an extremely important role, but it's a pretty
good
small
role.
it's a good meaty role, and it allows him to do accent work, which he never really gets to do either. And like help out, like, you know, an incredible actress in her own right, Cassie Lemons, who again we talked about recently on the Silence of the Lambs episode, and get her directorial debut off the ground is amazing. And he's the biggest head on the fucking like VHS cover, but like Lynn Whitfield and Diane Carroll were the sell for me. Diane Carroll is so fucking good in this movie.
Incredible. And also, it should be said, this movie, you know, written and directed by a woman of color, cinematography by a woman, edited by a woman. Like, editors are traditionally women, so that's like less surprising. But like cinematographer, you know, a woman cinematographer is still somewhat rare.
And Amy Vincent, who was the cinematographer, shot Black Snake Moan and Hustle and Flow, but she also shot Jawbreaker.
Oh, did she?
She shot Darren's movie Jawbreaker. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's incredible cinematography. So it's like women up and down, which is great.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting. What I think the first time I watched Eve's Bayou was one of the most impactful things to me, especially coming out of, you know, the 90s black indie boom that gave us that, like, obviously it started with Spike Lee in the late 80s, but then gave us, you know, Menace to Society and gave us Boys in the Hood. And then, you know, Deep Cover and like the incredible output of Dr. Dry Longzo and these amazing movies from that period. The Watermelon Woman. There's not a single white performer in Eve's Bayou.
I know, I love that.
And at no point, other than the backstory referencing the enslavement of the ancestor to their family, at no point is racism a part of the narrative or these characters' lives.
Yeah.
Like, it's like it's in there inherently, but the movie doesn't have to. That's not the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, these characters are going to lead these lives anyway. It's about themselves, and it's about what makes
not
them
only
individual
that,
people and not
the characters are. It's a period piece where the black characters are rich. The dad is a doctor. They're socialites. They're like the pillars of this small town in 1962, which is an incredibly racist time, of course. So it just makes it different than a lot of black movies, especially ones that are period pieces set in the 60s. You know, it's a point of difference.
It feels like this kind of, especially, I mean, it's always going to feel this way when you're making any kind of childhood film, right? Because childhood automatically for almost everyone kind of has, especially in America, has this kind of view of like this perfect bubble of innocence that like in the world is perfect and pristine and nothing could break it, and then usually these movies are about the one thing that does break that innocence. And they kind of live in this like perfect kind of conclave where everyone knows each other. The only conflict in town is an interpersonal one based around their father. And, you know, other characters throughout the movie die or come within harm. And tragedy does strike throughout the film. But more or less, it's a very, very self-sufficient and cozy existence for the entire town. And it's like everyone knows each other. Everyone's like very open and very kind with each other. There is a scene where a local boy is killed and they celebrate for
I love
a
that
very
so
kind of different
much.
reason.
Yeah.
Which takes some explaining, but it's just and then they find out who the kid actually was, and then it's, oh my god, oh, we need to go take care of them. But like, it's such a beautiful, magical movie, and I love the way it's paced. I love the way it's shot. I love Louisiana so goddamn much.
God, so beautiful.
Every time when the kids are like laying in the crook of the willow tree, I'm always just like, I want to lay there and read a book.
Me.
Oh my fucking god. And the amount of like the way that it kind of builds its tone and its rhythm with these kind of interstitial shots just gliding through the bayou and the willow trees, and a lot of the times the camera is set up on a boat, and so it kind of has that like slow movement to it, and the sound design of the storms and of the bugs and of the swamp are incredible and just draw you in the whole way through. There's a scene where Jordie Smollett goes back to Diane Carroll's quote unquote office with her. And the camera is just drifting down the bayou and capturing the willow trees, as it's been doing throughout the whole movie. And then it catches them walking up to Diane Carroll's house, and then just keeps drifting past. It's just like extremely incidental to the endless flow of the river. And that just like hits the tone of this movie so perfectly.
All of that. And we get inherited psychic ability, and we get hoodoo. It's just like, yes, this movie is for me. I mean, it's not for me, but it is for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just pushing so many of my buttons of things that I love. That was my favorite thing about Sinners, was the root worker. I loved that actress. I loved the character. I love those flourishes in this movie. I love that Journey has this inherited psychic ability that she hasn't told anyone about yet. The movie kind of opens with her having a premonition of her uncle's death.
Her Aunt Moselle.
I love Aunt Moselle.
She's my favorite character in the whole movie.
Me too. I mean, how could she not be? Besides the other witch who like works at the farmer's market or whatever.
And I like that there's a dichotomy between the two of them. There's kind of an antagonism between the two of them. It seems like Diane Carroll doesn't like Moselle, and she doesn't like her.
Yeah.
She avoids getting her fortune told by her in one scene, and then she finally says fuck it and goes for it. And Diane Carroll immediately is like, I don't want your money. I'm just going to tell you that you're cursed, and every man who's going to be with you is going to die. Just like, because that's the town gossip, and she just clearly, there's bad blood. And later when Jordie Smollett comes to Diane Carroll and she was like, I want you to help me kill someone, and she's like, your aunt? Oh, should have been your aunt.
Well, speaking of that detail, I mean, this movie has so much detail, and that's what makes it feel like a novel. So there is this whole story that you just mentioned of Aunt Moselle being the Black Widow. All three men that she's loved died early. And so she seems to be cursed. And that's like something from a novel, because it feels like a new, more traditional movie wouldn't have that storyline in it at all, because it's kind of unnecessary in some ways, you could argue. Although I think emotionally it's very necessary, and like tonally it's very necessary. But
especially in the way that she keeps comparing herself to Samuel L. Jackson and to Jordie Smollett's father. Every time there's an issue with him and they come to her as help, she's Samuel L. Jackson's sister. Oh my God. And so she makes excuses for him based on her own self-hatred.
Yeah.
She sees every awful action that Samuel L. Jackson does or is accused of. She sees a mirror image in herself because of the guilt that she feels over her past dalliances and relationships. And it's so heartbreaking. And when a new man comes into her life, you understand her trepidation, but also he's like the greatest man in the whole movie.
So if I have one quibble with this movie, it's sort of his character. He's played by Von D. Curtis Hall. I can't remember what the character's name is, but it's like something out of a Harry Potter novel. It's like his
Julian
last name.
Greyraven.
Julian Greyraven.
Yeah.
And he has this long, ratty wig. And so I'm sort of like, is this a touch too far? Is this like just a one touch too campy? First of all, 1962, the long hair. I don't know about that. Is he meant to be indigenous or something? I don't know.
I think he's meant to be have a certain degree of indigenous heritage to him outside of I think
and the name. I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah, the Greyraven last name, it speaks directly to that. I think the hair is a mixture of, I think, also trying to demonstrate his heritage, but also the fact that he's in mourning his relationship with his wife who's left him, and he's been traveling around the country for however long.
Like kind of a wild man. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I read it that way, that like he's not going to take care of himself and he's not going to trim his hair until he finds his wife.
Yeah.
And his presence at the family engagements later on is so stark, and you can like see him instantaneously because he's got this huge long gray hair. His hair's larger than any of the women in the family.
Yeah.
But the amount of like gentleness and kindness that he expresses to every single person in the entire movie is so breathtaking. The scene where he paints her is so beautiful.
Well, also, it's so beautiful and sad that ultimately Moselle is like, I'm going to try this again because I love him. Because you know, as well as I do, that man's going to die because I believe that she really is cursed. I do believe that. Because in the vocabulary of this movie, this shit is real.
Yeah.
Or it seems to be. So I believe that he's going to die, and they're just so in love that they don't care.
Well, what she says to Journey Smollett near the end of the movie is, I'm gonna try, and maybe this time God will let me go with him.
Oh yeah,
which
that's
is
so beautiful,
so beautiful and so heartbreaking that she's willing
and romantic in a fucked up way.
She's willing to try again. She's willing to let him die if it means that she gets to die with him. Which oh my God, we also really don't fully know how her most recent husband dies at the beginning of the movie. I guess it's kind of implied that it's a car accident, but she's driving the car.
Yeah, you're right. We also have to talk about Samuel L. Jackson, who's never been more handsome and charming, to the point. I mean, the character is such a cad, but you don't care. You forgive him so much because he's so likable. And then at the end, near the end, when they reveal something, I'm like screaming because I don't want it to be true because I like the character so much.
Yeah.
It's a really dirty trick the movie plays on you.
Well, and then it kind of complicates it further at the end.
It does, yeah.
Which I think is so much more interesting, and it makes the movie so much more beautiful.
And it's the point of the movie, right? The movie is calling into question our memories and asking whether or not they are objective. Of course, they're not. So we see the same story play out from two different points of view, and
three different, technically.
Three, you're right. So it's muddy.
The second sight version of it, it's extremely muddied, and no matter how you slice it, it's not good. Period. No. And the question of blame is kind of shrugged off and scuttled between different people at different times. And, there's also the question of how, to a certain degree, whether one thing is a lie or not, and whether the perception of one action then leads to the actions later in the movie, and whether the voodoo is accurate or whether what happens is based on man, or whether it's based on what Journey Smollett said to Roger Smith
Yeah.
at the market. She was trying to be shitty, which is a really funny scene.
How much do you love that other witch? I love her so much.
Oh, Diane Carroll.
Yeah.
The scene where Journey Smollett is going to the market and steals a pineapple and then sees Diane Carroll and just stops stock still.
And drops the
Diane
pineapple.
Carroll just says, "Bad girl."
And calls her pineapple thief for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love Diane Carroll so much. She's one of my favorite singers, one of my favorite performers. I get so excited when she's in stuff like this. But also, like, I just watched her in Hurry Sundown, and I love her so much in Claudine, which, like, if you haven't seen it, I feel like you would absolutely
I haven't seen
love.
Claudine.
It's her and James Earl Jones in the 70s in New York, and she works as a maid to, like, a rich family out in the suburbs, and then she has she's a single mother to a handful of kids, and she's constantly being flirted with by James Earl Jones, who works as a garbage man in the same wealthy neighborhood that she works in. And so they always flirt in the mornings and stuff like that. And then, find out that he lives near her. And so they start a relationship together, which is complicated by her kids and complicated by him kind of implying that he might have kids back in Philadelphia that he doesn't see anymore, and whether or not he can be a father to these kids, and whether or not, having his additional income by them dating would then not allow her to get food stamps anymore. It's really, really, really beautiful and really funny and really charming. Their first date together is amazing. These two people that, like, spend 8 hours a day working and then have to, like, take care of other people, trying to find time for themselves is a really, really beautiful act.
Yeah.
And the score by Gladys Knight and the Pips is, like,
oh really? Whoa.
top fucking tier.
Wow.
I
know her from
Claudine.
I know her from, like, a really low rent place. She was on Dynasty in the 80s, which I would watch with my granny. My granny would lay on the sofa and smoke cigarette after cigarette, and I was like 4 sitting with her, and we would just watch Dynasty. She loved it. And I loved it. Dynasty and Dallas. Those are the two shows.
Oh my God. She was also in that Jim Brown heist movie I mentioned recently, The Split, which was so fucking good, with Warren Oates.
Yeah. Warren Oates, or what's his name? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Warren Oates, who is in every movie. Yeah,
I get him confused with somebody else, but I can't remember that person's name right now. So never mind.
It's the guy from Deliverance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's not Warren Oates?
Warren Oates, who is not in Deliverance.
What else to say about this movie?
I mean, also the fucking score is incredible. Like,
yeah,
I people are always decrying, and I always think about when Jason Blum was like, "There's no female directors. It's so hard to find female directors. They're not out there. What do you mean?" And he got in a lot of trouble for saying that. And then,
well, it's very stupid.
It's a very stupid thing to say. And the fact that Cassie Lemons makes this movie in 97, and for Trimark Pictures, who, like, were pretty, like, straight to video and made their money off of VHS at the time, this was, like, one of their most successful theatrical releases ever. She got, Talk to Me, like, a decade later.
Yeah.
She made a movie in 2001 with Samuel L. Jackson that not many people saw. She's been working in TV ever since. Since then, she made the Whitney Houston biopic, I Want to Dance with Somebody. She made the Harriet Tubman biopic. And I'm glad she's working, but, like, it's a fucking crime that it's taken this long for her to get another string of features. What the
TV
fuck?
is, like, full of these directors who have these incredible films that can't get movies made, so they just work in television. I mean, I've worked with a ton of them in television, which is lucky, but
Yeah. There was a mandate in at studios in the 1980s for more female directors on projects, and that's how we got Martha Coolidge and the director of Wayne's World and
Penelope Spheris.
And we got all these incredible female directors, Susan Seidelman, like making like studio features for a while.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the 90s like video store boom happened, and it was people like Quentin Tarantino and Paul Thomas Anderson, that's where more of the funding went to. And then all like, you know, black filmmakers started like being able to like fight for more power at the studio level, and female filmmakers barely got any options. And the films directed by black female filmmakers in the 1990s, Eve's Bayou, Dry Along So, Watermelon Woman are some of the best films of the 90s. And it's an absolute fucking crime that...
Incredible movies.
In the same way that the great female directors of the 80s weren't able to carry over into the 90s, that a lot of these people weren't able to carry over into the 2000s and 2010s is insane to me.
Well, the Jason Blum thing is annoying because it's like, he's right that there aren't as many women filmmakers, but he's wrong about the solution, which is like, you have all the power of this town at your command. Make some. Yeah. Go to film schools, find 24-year-old women filmmakers that you think are extraordinary, elevate them, like help them. Like I was in this situation. This has improved somewhat because of some very successful gay actors, but I was trying to make this queer horror movie years ago, and it was hard to get the funding because we couldn't find, they wanted like a gay movie star to be in the star of it. And I'm like, there aren't any because of homophobia. We have to make them by casting them in movies. Do you know what I mean? It's the same scenario. It's like, yeah, there are a lot fewer female filmmakers. That's why we have to like find them and elevate them and give them opportunities. They're not just out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are just out there, but you know what I mean? Like, Jason Blum, get off your ass and find them.
Well, the gay movie star thing irks me and annoys me a lot because it's so easy for people to be like, well, just get a gay one. Just get like a... Meanwhile, there are so many incredible and massive stars that are queer, but they're not out in 2025.
Yes. Pedro Pascal, looking at you.
And a handful of others that I won't say on mic.
Looking at you.
Really?
Yeah.
There's some other ones I'm not going to say on mic because I will get in trouble, so I won't. But like, at least one of them is a huge male actor that got started on a TV show in the 90s and became one of the most attractive and bankable lead male actors in the 2000s. It would be great if he was out about something and then could help these roles because he's extremely successful. And even simply something like Pedro Pascal officially coming out, and granted, he's done queer films and he's worked with with Almodovar and stuff like that, but like, still, like,
well, he's like calling because he was out as a young person. He was out as a young man, and he just, as he got more famous, he like kind of closed the door a little bit. He's like very private about it, but what are you gonna do?
I'm glad he's very supportive of his sister and of trans rights at the very least.
Yes. He's like my celebrity crush, though.
He's so goddamn hot and he's so goddamn talented.
So it's crazy.
I just wish he would be more selective about his work and maybe not be in everything all the time. Because he's currently on The Last of Us. Well,
yeah,
not that much. And he's in the new Celine song rom-com, and he's in the new Marvel movie of the fucking Fantastic Four, and like,
he's the Mandalorian as well. He's
like, it's too much.
It's too much. Take a break.
Too much. Take a break.
Let us miss you, Pedro Pascal.
Tell Disney no.
Are you allowed to tell Disney no? I don't think that's
Carrie Coon did.
Oh, did she? God, I love her.
Carrie Coon played a villain in some Avengers movie, like a third string, like in like a whole bunch of makeup, right?
Yeah.
And got a big paycheck for it, and famously spoke that she had a bad time doing it. And then recently, apparently, they tried to get her to come back, bigger role, bigger pay, and all this stuff, and she was like, "No, like, no, it's not enough."
I love when serious actors do those kinds of movies and then talk shit about them. Like, I love the tidbit of Laura Dern in the Star Wars movie, how every time she shot her gun, she would go, pew, pew, pew. And they're like, Laura Dern, stop doing that. And she's like, I can't. And apparently it's in the movie. Like, you can kind of
you can see her mouth moving. Yeah. They took the audio out, but you can see her lips saying, pew, pew. Ryan Johnson had to edit that out. That's so awesome.
That's
good
so
for him,
funny.
though. That's
everybody.
That's
involved.
like a fun set. That's a fun way of doing it.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Someone recently said that Marvel tried to get them back, but offered them less than they'd made
in what
previously,
world?
And they're like, no, like,
yeah, of course not.
As if you should be grateful to be in these movies that are tanking.
I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio to Timothée Chalamet. I think it was. His advice was no hard drugs, no superhero movies.
Yep.
Good advice.
Very good advice.
Timothy's doing pretty well.
Yeah, but his star is sliding, so we'll see.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. And, you could say that Dune is also a superhero movie to a degree.
No, Dune is like so much more sophisticated than superhero movies. You're giving me the side eye, but it is. It's beautiful. And it's like a classic sci-fi book. I think Dune is its own thing. I think Lord of the Rings is its own thing. I think Dune that's literary. It's Drusilla is grinning at me because she thinks I'm full of shit.
Sure.
Have you seen the Dune movies?
I've not. I don't like Denis Villeneuve's movies, and I can't look at that much like gray tan for 3 hours. A
lot of khaki, a lot of sand color.
And you know what? That's not
beautiful.
For me. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I respect it, but I'm telling you that they are, for blockbuster movies, very sophisticated and arty-farty.
The modern minimalism look it makes me queasy. I can't do it.
Fair enough. That's why I didn't watch Cheers in the 80s, because it looked too brown to me and it made me feel sad.
Cheers also sucks. I'm so sorry.
Joel is Cheers' #1 fan.
Okay, Frasier is great.
Yeah, I like Frasier. I like them both now.
I don't like Cheers.
But as a little gay boy in the 80s, I'm like, I don't want to spend time in this brown basement with old people.
When you could be watching Twin Peaks or Northern Exposure.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Or, because I was a child, Punky Brewster.
Yeah.
Or the Care Bears.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Bright colors.
It's like the 80s childhood. There's like TikToks about it where it's time to go to bed when you hear the MASH music, the sad MASH music.
Yeah. You know what that song's called, right?
Yes.
Suicide is Painless.
Yeah.
Written by Robert Altman's 15-year-old son.
Really?
Yeah, his 15-year-old son wrote that when he made the movie. And so they made it the opening thing to the movie. And so when they made the TV show, they kept it, just lost the lyrics.
Yeah.
And so Altman always said that his son made more money off of MASH than he ever did, because the music rights, because they played every single episode for 200 plus episodes and then in syndication.
That music is very triggering for me, because every child hated it so much. It was from the 70s.
Morning fog, I see a vision of things to be.
The way that I would race to the television to turn it off when I heard that music.
Who am I to see? I love that song. I love MASH.
I mean, it's a great song, but the show, just to an 80s child, was bleh.
I grew up in the late 90s and early 2000s, and when I was a kid and wanted to rent both the when I wanted to watch both the movie and the TV show of MASH off of TV Land, my parents were like, "What?
Yeah.
Huh?"
Anyway, wow, Eve's Bayou is a great movie.
Eve's Bayou is incredible.
Incredible.
If you like MASH, check out Eve's Bayou.
Let's play Have They Seen It, the game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. We talked about him a lot. He was alive and well in 1997, I think. Robert Altman?
Oh. Yeah, he was very much alive and well. I mean,
Gosford Park came out much later than that.
Yeah, in 2001. Yeah. Gosford Park is so fucking incredible. Oh,
it was my first Robert Altman movie. Was Gosford Park.
It's great.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I think he would absolutely see this. I
It
mean,
was at
granted,
festivals and stuff.
yeah, it was. I mean, even when it was theatrical, like it was a very big release for Trimark. And I feel like, you know, in '97 he'd had his like kind of comeback in the early '90s, and then by I think he was making like Cookie's Fortune and stuff like that in
Mhm.
the late '90s. So he's kind of back into a slump again. I feel like he would have gotten to see this, and he weirdly then made a John Grisham adaptation set in Louisiana, like in '98 or '99, called The Gingerbread Man.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Robert Altman made that movie. That's so
crazy.
weird to me. Anyway,
That's really weird.
I feel like he definitely saw Eve's Bayou. I feel like he lit up a big fucking joint and either watched it at home on tape or went out to the theater.
Yeah.
And
He would really like it because of the pace, I think.
Oh yeah. I feel like he would also like love the performances in this movie too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, we mentioned that Megan Good is in this movie, who's like still acting.
Isn't she married to Jonathan Majors, or is...
Yeah, she's with Jonathan Majors right now.
Wow.
Currently.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is a choice.
It is a choice.
Yeah. Ivor and I we're watching this movie. We're like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
But she I know her most from Debs, which is, you know,
Right, I never watched that.
You've never seen Debs?
No.
You should watch Debs. Debs is
I know, you've said that to
incredible.
me before.
Debs is amazing. But most recently, she has been in the Shazam movies.
Oh.
Speaking of no superhero movies and no Zachary Levi. But there's someone in the most recent Shazam movie that she's in that isn't in Debs, but it feels like Debs is in conversation with something that the actress was in, which is Lucy Liu was in Shazam, Fury of the Gods or whatever. And Debs feels very much in conversation with the Lucy Liu Charlie's Angels films.
Okay.
Just my long way around. Do you think Lucy Liu has seen Eve's Bayou?
No.
Really?
I don't know why. Gut instinct.
I feel like she was like coming up in '97.
Yeah.
I feel like what was she doing at that time? I mean, yeah, she was like in Jerry Maguire and stuff like that at the time. It wasn't until the late '90s with like Shanghai Noon and Charlie's Angels that she really popped off. So, you know, she was definitely in LA and around and working. Yeah, I mean, she may have caught it in theaters in '97, or she may have, you know, nowadays she's also doing a lot to work with female directors. So, like, maybe
she may have seen it now,
since then.
recently.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 16 in 1997. I don't remember this movie coming out. I don't think it's not like this is a Star Wars movie, right? Like it's not like gigantic, huge blockbuster. It's an art movie.
Yeah.
And so I don't think everyone saw it in 1997.
No, I feel like if anyone was aware of it in '97, it was people in LA, or New York. But like,
yeah.
I feel like Lucy Liu would love this movie. I feel like she would really, 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 really dig it.
Of course, she's very smart and sophisticated.
And who doesn't like this movie?
Yeah, if you go through Letterboxd, it's all 4 and 5 stars. This movie,
I know, it's absolutely amazing. I saw one person give it 1.5 stars, and when we finish this podcast, I'm gonna read it as like a form of self-hatred.
Yeah, I do that to myself all the time. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I purposely look up bad reviews of movies that I love because I want to feel mad for some reason. Not very good behavior on my part. This is a melodrama of sorts. And stylistically, pace-wise, tonally, in some ways, it reminded me of the work of the director Todd Haynes. Do you think that Todd Haynes has seen this? I think he would love it if he has.
Absolutely. I think he saw it when it came out. I think he probably still has a VHS tape of it.
Yeah.
I think he absolutely I think he loves this movie. This feels right up his alley.
God, this movie is so good.
It's oh my god. That
is the Criterion still in print? Do you know?
Yeah.
I need to get it. Okay.
Yeah, you should get it. It's a big fucking 2-disc release. It's got both cuts of the movie and a shit ton of extras. It's got her short film that she made on there. They gave her the star treatment for this release, and it's
good,
amazing.
It's maybe the most assured debut film I've ever seen. Nothing else is coming to mind.
Incredibly assured. I love first films. Like I really
they're often my favorites by people.
Well, it's the same thing with first albums. It's like you've got your
totally
whole life
and first novels and
and they're just so potent. And I think this movie is incredible and exceptionally potent. I was going to ask whether, because Cassie Lemons obviously had a very successful acting career before she sat behind the camera, and I was going to ask if you thought that some of the prior directors that she had worked with, like Spike Lee or Jonathan Demme, had gone to see Eve's Bayou, but I know they did. I know both of those men would have gotten to see that. However, there's another movie she acted in the 1980s that I know that you're a fan of. That's much more of a horror film and a genre film, and it kind of deals with a similar theme as to whether or not the supernatural elements are genuine or not in the way that they are in this movie. And that is the 1988 classic Vampire's Kiss, starring Nicolas Cage. Do you think Nicolas Cage has seen Eve's Bayou?
I think so, but not because of her.
Yeah.
Not because he's a cinephile, but because Nick Cage loves Louisiana.
He loves New Orleans, Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah. He really loves that. I think there's a period of his life when he's hungering to buy property in Louisiana, and he's just like sucking up as much Louisiana content as he can. I think he watched things that are significantly worse than this. Like, I think he watched Skeleton Key.
I saw Skeleton Key when I was growing up.
I've never seen it. I'm sure it's a fine movie, like a fine Sunday afternoon movie, but certainly not on the level of this.
What if I told you that Skeleton Key has a very similar twist to Get Out?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me curious about it.
You might like Skeleton Key.
I'm sure I would. I just always assumed it would be like a totally fine movie. You know what I mean? Like,
it was one of the first horror movies that I watched in full because I had a babysitter at the time who was like, both my parents worked. And so it was like the older sister of a friend of mine that my parents would pay a little bit to like watch us from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever. And she would take us to Blockbuster. And I remember her being like, I want to watch Skeleton Key. And we were like, what? And she was like, yeah, we're going to watch Skeleton Key. And I was like, okay. And we watched it in the middle of the day at like 2 p.m. in the middle of the summer. So it was super hot. And my brother got bored and left, and I watched it all with her, and I was terrified.
God bless bad babysitters.
She also showed me the Royal Tenenbaums. So, like, she was like, the Royal Tenenbaums was on TV, was like on Comedy Central or something. And she knew that I really liked Owen Wilson. I don't think she knew that I had a crush on Owen Wilson. That was why. Yeah. And she was like, hey, come down here, watch this movie with me. And it was the suicide scene. It was the needle in the hay, Elliott Smith scene. And I was like, what? And I finished the rest of the movie with her, and then I kept trying to catch the beginning of it on Comedy Central for the next like month.
Oh my god,
she did a great job.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nicolas Cage has absolutely seen Eve's Bayou. Come the fuck on.
Absolutely.
I feel like he's watched the Candyman sequels just to get more New Orleans content. I feel like he's seen Gingerbread Man.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Bloodhaus. Please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at bloodhousepod. Drusilla, where can people find your swamp?
Drain that swamp. You can find me and my work over at sisterhidedesign.com. I have a lot of new stuff out up there, so go check that out. A lot more stuff coming soon as well. And you can also follow me on Letterboxd if you look for Drusilla Adeline, and you can follow, or Sister Hyde, and you can find out all the 90s trashy movies I've been watching over there. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky for a little bit, but I'm on that. What about you, Josh? How can people see through the third eye where you might be?
I'm at Joshua Conkel on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky. Next week, we are watching my favorite movie by one of my favorite directors. What's it going to be this time?
It's a biggie, and it's weirdly following in the Mother's Day theme that we've started to celebrate the release of his new movie, The Shrouds. We are returning to Canada for Canada's greatest son, David Cronenberg's early breakthrough films. And we will be watching from 1975, starring two men that Josh has a crush on, Art Hindle and Oliver Reed. And Samantha Egger in a performance that when I first saw it made me throw up in my mouth. We will be watching David Cronenberg's The Brood.
Can't wait to see Ollie in that short robe again. See you next week. Bye.